Everyone at Dockside Diner knew the rule. If a dragon walked in, you treated them like royalty, you smiled like you meant it, and you did not expect a tip. Mara Hale had learned that rule the hard way. The Dockside Diner squatted on the edge of Port Meridian, a sprawling human-alien trade hub orbiting the blue-white gas giant. The station never slept. Freighters docked at all hours. Mercenaries, merchants, refugees, and diplomats crowded the narrow concourse. And somewhere in that endless churn, Mara balanced trays of food and the weight of being a single mother. She was human. That mattered. Humans were still considered new blood in the wider galactic community. Clever, adaptable, loud, useful, but not powerful. Not ancient, not wealthy on a species level. And dragons. Dragons were all of that and more. They weren't the fire-breathing beasts of old Earth myths at least. Not exactly. Galactic dragons were towering reptilian sophons with crystalline horns, wing-folded cloaks, and eyes that shimmered like molten gold. Their civilization predated most known empires. Their hordes weren't piles of gold but star systems, treaties, and blood oaths older than humanity itself. They also didn't tip. They consider payment for service an insult. Her manager had told her during her first week, "You serve because it is your role. They pay the bill because it is required." End of story. That was easy for him to say. He didn't have a 5-year-old daughter asleep in a cargo-converted apartment, waiting for her mum to bring home leftovers and hope. Mara wiped down the counter and checked the chrono. Late shift? Fewer customers? Good. That meant she could get home before. Lila woke up from her bad dreams again. The diner door chimed. Every conversation died. The air felt heavier, like the station's gravity had subtly increased. A dragon had entered. Not just any dragon. He was enormous, even by their standards. His scaled form folding awkwardly to fit through the door. His wings were bound in ceremonial bands of dark metal etched with symbols that hurt to look at too long. A crown of interlocking crystal plates hovered just above his brow, faintly glowing. A royal crest shimmered across his chest. Mara swallowed. Dragon King, great, just great. Her manager hissed from the kitchen, "Mara, you're up, why me?" She whispered back, "Because you're calm," he said. "And because you don't faint." She wasn't sure that was still true, but she grabbed a menu anyway. The Dragon King sat alone in a reinforced booth, the furniture creaking under his weight. He inclined his massive head as Mara approached. "Human," he said, his voice deep and layered, like multiple tones speaking in harmony. "I require sustenance." "Yes, sir," Mara said automatically. "Welcome to Dockside Diner." She didn't mention titles. Dragons noticed things like that. He scanned the menu with eyes that glowed brighter as they moved. "Your cuisine is inefficient," he said. Mara smiled politely. "It's hot, filling, and affordable." A pause. Then, astonishingly, a low rumble escaped him. "Laughter, honesty," the Dragon King said. A rare trait. He ordered a staggering amount of food. Protein stacks, fried tubers, spiced meat from 3 different species, a vat of synthesized mineral broth usually reserved for cargo haulers. Mara didn't question it. She just wrote it down and delivered it as fast as the kitchen could manage. The Dragon King ate slowly, methodically. He didn't use utensils. He didn't make a mess. He consumed with the focus of someone refueling rather than indulging as he ate. His gaze followed Mara, not predatory, Tark, curious. You are burdened, he said suddenly. Mara nearly dropped a tray. Issa. You move as one carrying more than your share, he said. Explain. She hesitated. Dragons valued truth, but they also weaponized information. Still, something in his tone wasn't cruel. I'm a single mum, she said quietly. I work nights. I'm tired. The Dragon King considered that. Your mate is deceased. No, Mara said. He left. A long silence. That, the Dragon King said, is a stranger cruelty. Mara didn't know how to respond to that, so she didn't. When the meal was finished, the Dragon King stood. The booth sighed in relief. He placed a credit sheet on the table. Exact change. Not a unit more, of course. Mara nodded respectfully. Thank you for dining with us. The Dragon King paused at the door. You served well, he said. You did not cower. You did not flatter. You did not beg. He inclined his head again and left. The door chimed shut. The diner exhaled. See. Her manager muttered, no tip. Mara forced a smile and cleared the table. That's when she found it, tucked beneath the edge of the plate, partially hidden beneath a napkin, was something small and dark, no bigger than her palm at first. She thought it was trash, then it pulsed. Warmth spread through her fingers as she picked it up. The object unfolded like living metal, forming a sigil that shimmered with inner fire. Her breath caught. She'd seen images of these on the news. Dragon marks, not currency. Not jewels, something far more dangerous. A writ of acknowledgement. Her manager leaned over her shoulder and went pale. Oh no, he whispered. Oh no, no, no. What is it? Mara asked. He swallowed. That means a Dragon King has recognized you as significant. Significant how? The sigil flared brighter. A voice echoed in her mind, deep ancient. Unmistakable, human Mara Hale. Your service has been witnessed. Your burden has been measured. Your species has been judged. Worthy. Mara staggered back, heart pounding. The sigil cooled, reshaping itself into a smooth, obsidian band, a ring around them. The diner had gone silent again, but this time, not from fear, from awe. Within hours, the station was buzzing. Dragon writs were rare, almost unheard of. They weren't given lightly. To receive one meant protection under draconic law. It meant trade privileges. It meant that harming the bearer was equivalent to challenging a dragon's honor. It also meant attention, too much attention. By morning, officials were at her door. By afternoon, corporate reps. By evening, military attaches asking careful questions about her relationship with the Dragon King. She answered truthfully. I served him food, she said. That's it. They didn't understand. The dragons did. A second dragon arrived 3 days later. Then a third. They came not as conquerors, but as guests. They sat in the same booth. They requested Mara by name. They watched her work. They paid exactly the bill. And every time they left something behind. Not money, opportunities, a medical voucher, -dragon, -grade, -4, her daughter. Lila's chronic lung condition vanished overnight. A housing writ. A real apartment. Windows, sunlight simulators, an education bond. For the child, the dragons said, and any others you may shelter. Mara finally understood. This wasn't charity. This was evaluation. Humans didn't have ancient empires. They didn't have hordes or crowns older than stars. What they had, what dragons were only beginning to grasp was. Endurance Bara kept working. She didn't quit. She didn't demand more. She didn't change how she treated anyone who walked through the door. Dragon or not, she served. And that, the Dragon King later explained, was the point. "We are born powerful," he told her when he finally returned. "You are not. Yet you build. You care. You persist. A species that produces mothers like you is dangerous, dangerous." Mara asked. "To the old order," he said. "And therefore valuable." He looked at Lila, who peeked shyly from behind Mara's leg. "The age of hordes is ending," the Dragon King said. "The age of builders begins. We would rather stand beside such a species than rule over it." He left no tip that day either, but when the Dragon King departed, the Human-Dragon Alliance was already signed quietly, irrevocably, and it all started because a tired human waitress did her job with dignity. Asterisk.